I'm back. Yeah, but I was talking about being underestimated, uh, defying the odds, uh, things of this nature. You know what I mean? Uh, I've always done that actually, and me, I'm not the only one because it's many people from my so-called friend group, basically people I grew up with. I ain't gonna lie, I grew up with some amazing people. You know what I mean? And I believe that every hood has those elements. Um, and I say that because, yeah, every neighborhood always had uh, super soldier, athletic hero, scholar types that were oppressed in a way of there not being, let's say, adequate leadership or opportunities for these people, and they ended up getting, sucked into the muck, and going astray, going left, whatever you want to call it, for a portion of the time of their life or for all of their life. And some people, a lot of people, most of us were, ultimately like destroyed from it. So the ones that's remaining, that's on some type of solid life, plan, like whereas those, they solid. They've always been solid, but I'm just saying, got away from negative lifestyles, different things. These people are extraordinary, and I just really, not to try to single myself out, but I know many the survivors of all of that I just mentioned, and just in my own neighborhood. But I know people, I personally know and have relationships with people from the surrounding neighborhoods of my neighborhood who are the same way. And but all of these standout people always had a standout attitude, or a way of thinking. Even when they was down and out, they still was extraordinary in the negativity, and they always stood out. So, I would advise anybody who I'm trying to give some advice to, I would advise them to always try to take a high road, a noble road, really the hard road, because really, even to keep it basic, to be thorough is not really easy. You know what I mean? Because if being thorough was easy, everybody would be thorough. It's just like if being a champion in any given sport was easy, everybody would be a champion and would be good at that. But it's not easy. So the standouts, the people that stand out, they put in work that average people, or the average ones, they don't even see, because they don't even think like that. You see? But this is how they establish themselves as standouts, as being extraordinary, as being special. And we all are special in certain ways, but they are standouts that are, extraordinary people in one way or the other. And I advise myself and anybody want to listen, always take the high road. It's easy to look at somebody doing something and imagining what they doing as opposed to you doing it yourself. Just like it's hard not, it's not easy to not tell a lie in a hard situation or a hard spot, or It's not easy to not tell a lie to get something that you want. All of these different things, these are some things that are difficult. It's difficult to not, let's say, sleep with a friend's wife. She could be throwing herself at you, and these are the things that separate you, that make you extraordinary, that make you thorough. To not do that, you see, and it takes more than it just takes in a higher kind of character to be on a character like that. And these are like everyday common things, like with people. People fall into stuff for the sake of their own desires, or believing that it's okay to do something to somebody because they're not from your group of people. All of that kind of stuff is not right. And, the same way, like, it's not right to misuse or oppress or anything towards Asian people, white people, just other melanated people that's just not from here or whatever. You know how we categorize things. It's not right. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. It don't matter who you come in contact with. It ain't good for you to steal from nobody. It ain't good for you to kill nobody. It's wrong. You know what I mean? So, and for those of us who have like religious backgrounds, where it's like reading read books, and we have let's say a format that was written on right and wrong. I don't have a problem with people sticking to that. Especially if, see, me myself, I communicate and I get messages in a lot of different ways. But I have a conscience. Okay? So basically, my thing is, if your conscience ain't right with it, then it ain't right. But some people don't know how to listen to themselves. You know what I mean? They don't know how to listen to the voice in their head telling them not to do something, or the voice in their head telling them to do something. You know what I mean? So the book format and following that is it has its place, and it's good. But it's not good when that's another story. But the people, myself included, got to get back to following our true self, which is following and listening to the Creator. It ain't so much a do's and don'ts. It's more what your own inner natural self is telling you to do or not to do. Just like these birds and these bees, you know what I mean? They're not, these animals are not in conflict with their own self. Man is. So in order to get back to, in order to win over this conflict of self, is to get knowledge of self. And then, knowledge of self, I'm talking about knowledge of self is, it's cliche-ish in the so-called conscious community, the so-called conscious world. But it's levels of consciousness. Even being religious is a form of or a level of consciousness. So consciousness is in levels, just like everything else. But people got to get back to what's natural, because everything in what's called nature is in order. It's in order. So get back to order. Start with yourself. You know what I mean? And if, like myself, if you have different criteria that you can refer to or refer back to, then refer back to it. And listen to your conscience and your inner self, and let it guide you to where you're supposed to go.